Let me start with a story. My grandfather once told me something simple but powerful. He said,
"Anyone who is being fed by others will never eat when he is hungry."
At the time, I thought he was talking about food. But today, I understand he was talking about power. Because in the modern world, food has a new name called data. And the kitchen where the food is prepared is called compute, the next global power shift. Every generation has a technology that reshapes the balance of power. In the 1950s, it was nuclear technology. In the 1970s, it was oil. In the 1990s, it was the internet. In the 2020s, it is the artificial intelligence. But AI is not magic. AI runs on three things: data, compute power, algorithms. Whoever controls these three things will shape the global economy for the next 50 years. This is why governments are beginning to treat AI infrastructure as a strategic national asset. For example, the US government recently invoked the Defense Production Act in an AI capacity dispute involving the company Anthropic. That law was created during wartime to mobilize industrial production for national security. It is now used to secure AI computing power. That should tell us something. AI is no longer just technology. It is geopolitics. Africa's digital paradox. Now, let's talk about Africa. Africa is a continent of extraordinary potential. We have 1.4 billion people, the youngest population in the world, over 600 million internet users, a digital economy projected to reach $712 billion by 2050. Africa also supplies many of the minerals powering modern technology. About 70% of the world's cobalt come from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Africa holds significant reserves of lithium, essentials for battery and advanced electronics. South Africa alone produces over 70% of global platinum used in electronics and energy systems. But here is the paradox. Despite these advantages, Africa holds less than 1% of the world's data center capacity. The United States has more than 5,000 data centers. Europe has over 2,000. Asia continues to expand rapidly. Africa has only a few hundreds across an entire continent of 54 countries. That means most African data is processed somewhere else. Who owns Africa Digital Life? Think about your daily digital life. When Africans watch videos, they often use platforms owned by companies like Meta, Google, ByteDance, Xcorp. These companies are global innovators, but they are not African. They now hold more behavioral data about Africans than any African government or company. That data powers algorithms. Those algorithms create intelligence, and that intelligence drives economic value. In other words, Africa exports raw data and imports digital intelligence. My personal lesson. In 2018, I launched a platform called Ogele. It was Africa's first user-generated video sharing platform, but the real vision was bigger. We wanted African stories, culture, and data user to be stored and processed on African infrastructure. My team and I toured Africa. We established offices in 9 nations. And everywhere we went, I repeated one message: Africa must keep its data inside Africa. Unfortunately, the idea came too early. COVID hit, funding collapsed, and my partners and I lost millions of dollars. But the lesson stayed with me. Africa does not just need apps. Africa needs infrastructure. The digital landlord problem. Let me explain this in simple terms. The AI economy works exactly like the real estate market. In the physical world, the land is the foundation. The utilities power the building. The landlord makes the rules. In the AI world, the land is GPU compute. The utilities are foundational AI models. The rules are algorithms. If Africa builds its digital economy entirely on infrastructure owned by others, we become tenants in the AI economy. Tenants never control the rent, the cost of digital dependence. If Africa does not invest in digital sovereignty, three things will happen. First, economic value will leave the continent. The global cloud computing market is projected to exceed $1 trillion within the next decade. If Africa owns none of that infrastructure, we capture almost none of that value. Second, innovation will be limited. African startups will depend entirely on foreign platforms. Third, national security risk increases. Critical data about citizens, economies, and government will be stored outside the continent. What Africa gains from digital sovereignty. But if Africa invests in digital sovereignty, the rewards could be transformative. 1. Massive economic growth. Africa's digital economy is projected to reach $712 billion by 2050. Owning infrastructure means capturing more of that value locally. Data centers alone create billions in economy activity through energy markets, telecommunications infrastructure, cloud services, AI development. 2. Millions of new jobs. Building a continental digital infrastructure ecosystem would create jobs across multiple sectors: data center engineering, renewable energy systems, fiber optic networks, AI development, cybersecurity. The global AI industry could generate over 97 million jobs by 2030. Africa must claim its share. 3. Technological independence. When countries control their own digital infrastructure, they control their technological destiny. They can develop solutions tailored to their needs. For example, Africa has over 2,000 languages. Local AI systems could transform education, healthcare, financial services, agriculture. Localized artificial intelligence could improve farming productivity, climate forecasting, and supply chain management across the continent. 4. Global bargaining power. Africa's mineral resources gives it enormous leverage. Instead of exporting raw minerals cheaply, African governments could negotiate mineral for complete agreements. Companies seeking cobalt, lithium, or rare earth minerals would invest in African AI data centers, training African engineers, sovereign cloud infrastructure. Africa would move from a resource exporter to a technology partner. The opportunity before us. Africa does not need to copy Silicon Valley. Instead, Africa can focus on efficient AI systems trained on local data. Breakthroughs like DeepSeek demonstrate that smaller efficient models can compete with massive systems. Africa can build AI trained on African languages, agricultural data, informal markets, regional logistics. The continent's complexity becomes its competitive advantage. The moment of decision. Africa stands at a historic turning point. If we fail to invest in digital sovereignty, we risk becoming permanent consumers of technology created elsewhere. But if we act now, Africa can become one of the world's largest AI markets, a leader in localized artificial intelligence, a hub for digital innovation. The final question. The future will not be decided only by who owns land or oil. It will be decided by who owns data, compute, and intelligence infrastructure. So I leave you with one question. Will Africa own the digital soil, or will we spend the next century renting space on someone else's servers? The time to decide is now.